What's up guys, welcome back once again to Did Reviews. Today I've got a case by Antec. Massive thank you to Antec for sending this out. I really appreciate it and really appreciate them being patient with me as I've got a lot to do at the moment with work and everything, and it's took me a while to get around to even looking at this case. So massive thank you to Antec again for sending this over for review. They've also sent me some fans which we'll be doing another video, and eventually when I do a build they're going to be going in this case as well. This is the Antec DP503 Dark Phantom, and as you can see, it looks absolutely amazing. So let's get into it. We'll have a look around it and see what basically features it has. And then obviously this will be a precursor to the build that we'll get around to eventually. Right, so first of all, as you can see, the design of it is absolutely awesome. I really like this. It's got this mesh panel, complete mesh panel at the front. Well, I say complete, it's got these sort of plastic bits in between. But the design of this is absolutely incredible. I really like what they've done here. It looks really good. Sort of like a wavy effect. I don't know if you can make that out on camera, but I'll turn it around so you can sort of have a better look. Yeah, so it's a front mesh, so airflow shouldn't be a problem in this case whatsoever. It is a sort of plastic front cover, so it's plastic surrounding. It's got sort of the Antec logo up here, but yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. So the front does just come off in terms of like, it's got like tabs on the inside that just push fit into it, so it is quite easy to remove. And as you can see here, we've got the whole front mesh panel, which comes off in a wanna. And yeah, that's really nice to see. One thing I would have liked to have seen is maybe if they could put some sort of RGB in these, but then again, you are going to see your fans through the mesh, so it's not a big problem at all. But yeah, again, I've said it enough times now, it looks absolutely brilliant. And there's sort of a tab at the bottom to hopefully pull it off as well, because they're always stiff to start with. So more about the front, we've got 3 120mm fans included, and by the looks of it, it can take up to 3 140mm fans because it's got sort of the right slots for it. You get these fans included. These are ARGB fans, so they're included as standard, which is nice to see. So straight out of the box, it's ready to go. You don't need to buy any fans for it if you don't want to. One thing I would suggest is that you do need, well, it'd be nice to have an exhaust at the back as well, if you're considering building in this case. It's not included. Maybe they could have included it. I'm not sure the price point at the moment of this, so I will put that up so you can sort of gauge whether you think they could have included it for that price or not. But to me, 3 ARGB fans is more than enough to be included with this case. And again, yeah, they hopefully will look nice. They're sort of, they're hub lit as well, so they're not edge lit, so you'll be able to see them from inside and out, and hopefully should be nice and bright. But obviously that will come in the build video and basically the review. So this is not a review, it's more of an overview. So in the review video, obviously I'll test it and see how well it performs as well in terms of temperature. Coming round to the side, so at the side you can see we've got a full tempered glass panel, which is really tight thumb screws. Yeah, at the side, thumb screws which come out, and I believe as it feels like they are captive, which I really like. It's only a little thing, but it just makes a hell of a difference when you're removing the panel quite a lot, as I do on cases and things. It just makes things easier. You're not going to lose the screws, and then you pull it back, off it comes. It has got a bit of a tint to it. If you can see that on the camera, there's a bit of a tint to it as well. I do quite like a tint on a tempered glass panel, so that's nice. And then this is obviously the major sort of part that you need to know about the insides. Straight away, it looks quite spacious inside. Looks like there's plenty of room. We've got up to ATX boards. The standoffs are already fitted, which is nice. Some companies don't fit them for some reason, which is quite annoying to be honest. Other than that, we've got a GPU anti-sag bracket here. I'll put the numbers up for how big a GPU it can handle, but pretty much anything from the looks of it, because it's quite long this way, so it shouldn't be a problem fitting that at all. And there's sort of a space down here behind the fans to allow you to put a radiator in. I would assume it can go up to a 420, maybe a 420. Again, put those up on the screen so you can see. Anything I get wrong, I will put up on the screen during editing, so you get the actual information you need. And then all the pass-throughs for your cables. There's absolutely loads of them, which is nice, and they're all rubber grommeted, which is brilliant. It hides some of the cables away and keeps the sort of mess down, makes it look just a little bit more professional, in my opinion. So other than that, you've got the PSU shroud as well, which has 2 spots at the bottom where you could stick some fans there, 120mm fans. You may be able to put some SSDs down, I'm not sure, or the holes that are threaded are for fans by the looks of it. So you put 2 120mm fans there to give some extra cooling to your graphics card, so you can get some underneath there and up to your graphics card. Again, absolute bonus. You've got a cutout here. This one isn't grommeted for some reason, but that's where you'd probably pull your GPU cables from. So if you've got some nice cables you want to show off, they can come through there no problem and won't have to make too much of a bend or a twist, and will look really nice. Other than that, up to a 120mm fan in the back, not a 140, just 120mm in the back there. And we've got obviously standard I/O ports at the bottom, at the back, sorry, and seven PCIe slots, which are screwed, removable and reusable. Again, I like to see that. Some companies you find sort of on the cheaper side, I don't think this is a cheap case, but on the cheaper side we'll use the ones that you snap out, and if you take too many out and you can't put them back, sometimes it just looks a bit ugly on your build. So that's again nice to see. It looks like there's plenty of space at the top here. The motherboard will come to here, so there's plenty of space to get an AIO up here, which is really good as well, and there's plenty of space to get your cables down the back. So yeah, shouldn't be a problem at all. I'll talk about the back quickly. There's not a lot to tell you about the back of a PC case really, it's pretty much standard, but the one thing I will mention is that it is a removable PSU bracket. So you remove that, pop it onto PSU, then slide your whole PSU in with the bracket on and tighten it back in with these thumb screws. Again, that's something that's kind of grown on me. I've not seen, a lot of my cases I've had in the past haven't had this, so it's nice to see. I do quite like that. It just makes installing it a little bit easier. Now I'll go around to the back and we'll check out what's sort of behind this back cover. Again, these screws are captive. Really nice, I like that. The amount of screws I've lost when I'm taking panels off, it does get quite annoying. So this is the back. We have 2 mounts here for 2.5-inch SSDs, which is nice to see, so you can tuck them away nicely. The gap at the back's not huge for cable management, so you might struggle with some thicker cables and things like that. Again, I'll put that up on the screen so you can see what the actual measurement is of how much clearance you've got. So yeah, it's not the most I've seen in some cases. Could have done being a little bit more, but you have got sort of a lip around here so you can tuck some cables down there, mainly for your EPS connection and stuff like that. As I mentioned before, the pass-throughs are all grommeted, and you've got a couple of tie-down points with Antec cable ties here, which is a nice little touch with their symbols on, and you've also got lots of points around here for tying cables down with normal cable ties, which again is nice to see. Obviously you've got all your cables here. We'll talk about sort of I/O and stuff in a minute. And another one, which is again nice to see, is the LED and fan controller at the back. So this is a 6-port ARGB controller and a 6-port PWM fan controller. Sorry, not PWM, standard fan controller in there. Why it's not PWM, I'm not sure. However, not a problem. And then this one at the top here is for the LED switch. It's got an LED switch on the top, which we'll talk about in a second, so you can change your functions without movable control. Not a lot more to talk about in there. You've got a hard drive bay down here, which looks like you can put one 3.5-inch HDD and inside, and probably one on top, or an SSD in there if you've got 2.5-inch SSD drives, and these aren't enough. And let me just have a quick look. And this hard drive cage is also removable, so if you've got a big PSU or you want a bit more room to put more controllers or more cables and stuff down there, stuff them away, keep them out of the way, you can actually remove that as well if you've not got a hard drive to put in, which is something I'll be doing when I build it, because I don't use hard drives normally. In there you get a pack of accessories. I'll have a quick look what's in there. So in your little accessory box, you've got basically instructions of how to remove the panels, and for the controller as well, for the AGB controller. And you've also got another Antec branded cable tie, which is nice to see, a Velcro one. It's got some standard Velcro ties, and you've got motherboard screws and everything else you need in there to get you going. So they've included everything you need really. There is no vertical GPU support natively from this case. It would have to be added using like an aftermarket bracket. So bear that in mind if you're looking to do a vertical GPU build. You would have to buy an extra bracket and obviously a PCIe riser cable as well. But there's plenty of room under there to stuff your cables away and everything like that. And there's a removable dust filter at the bottom as well that goes underneath your PSU. It's just the PSU, it doesn't go all the way. It doesn't need to either. It goes straight under your PSU to keep the dust out of that. Anything else to talk about in the back? Probably not. It stands off from the feet, so it stands probably around about an inch off the table with the feet that are included on it. So that'll give you enough room to get some air into your PSU. And that's about it for the back. Let's move on to the top. So you get a magnetic removable dust filter. I don't really know why companies still put dust filters on the top, to be honest. I mean, it's a nice little touch, it cleans up the top a little bit, I suppose. But most people are going to be using that for exhaust, so a dust filter is not really going to do anything other than keep dust out when it's off, I suppose. So that's there as well. You might as well leave it on. It's not really going to hinder any performance too much. And we'll have another quick look at the top. So the top of this case, you've got support for probably up to a 360, 280. I don't think you get a 420, I don't know. Again, information will be on the screen for you to see, and obviously I'll link everything to Antec and where you can buy this and things like that in the description below if I can find the information. So you've got radiator support up there as well. There isn't probably enough space to do a push-pull at the top, but that's not necessary. You could do one in the front maybe, because you can put your fans on the outside and then have a radiator and another fans on the inside. There's enough room there for a standard size radiator, probably 30mm. And lastly, let's talk about the I/O. Obviously the top's got your standard power button. It's got an LED button, which I mentioned controls this controller down here. However, probably when I do a build, I'll be passing it through to the motherboard. There is a standard 3-pin 5V ARGB connection there, so you can pass it through from this controller to your motherboard if you want to, so everything can be controlled from your motherboard from one place. And then moving on, we've got two USB-A ports. We've got a separate headphone and a separate microphone jack. And we've also got a Type-C, which is nice to see. So we've got all the connections pretty much you need there, which is good. And yeah, that's about it really. So that's the Antec DP503. Really good looking case from what I've seen so far. We will talk about this more in the build review. So I'll do a whole build in it and I'll review it in terms of GPU temp, CPU temp. And I'll try and sort of give it a comparison to something else so you can sort of get an idea as to how well the case performs. I can't see there being any issues with airflow whatsoever, as it's a full mesh front and you get the 3 included fans. So when I come to do the build, I'll use it in its stock configuration so you can see how it is, but then I'm going to populate it with all the new fans that Antec have sent me, just to make it look a little bit better. So yeah guys, I hope that's helped. Hopefully if you're considering this case, it'll give you a bit of more of an insight as to what the case is all about and what features it has. If you do want to see the build, and obviously please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and that'll hopefully be coming very soon, and then you can sort of have a better idea of whether you want this case or not. But yeah, I hope that's helped you guys, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.